Hi. So there you have it. Dinner is over. The kids have all gone home. And it's day 19. I got a fair amount done today. I'm getting better now at deciphering the articles from Chosun Ilbo. Very interesting. And I then read. I go through linking and then read them on my iPad. Read them on my iPad, either in iLink or even in the app itself, in Link, not the app, in Link itself on my iPad, which is great. Then I have done a few more articles from our library because then I get the sound as well. Did a bit of listening when I was driving. I had to drive out and pick up the food. It was about a half hour there, half hour back. It's one of our favorite restaurants. It's a little bit further away from home. Had a question today, which I want to talk about in today's little video. On my YouTube channel, someone asked me two questions. First of all, if your approach to language learning is heavily sort of focused on listening and reading, then of course you'll only know the vocabulary for that specific area that you are focused on, and you won't know the other vocabulary. And the second question was, in today's world, don't you think everybody's just going to speak English and it won't be so necessary to learn other languages? Those were the two questions. I think they're interesting questions. First of all, when I read and listen, I go wherever my interest takes me. And you'll learn a lot of stuff. But even today, for example, I did some articles from Chosun Ilbo. One was about this whole issue of the dispute between Japan and Korea over the comfort women. And I discovered a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't know. I didn't know that there was a cartoon exhibit in France where there was a where there was a Korean exhibit where some cartoonists had depicted the plight of the comfort women, and then that the Japanese embassy protested, which strikes me as very strange. If in a cartoon exhibit the Japanese put up an exhibit about the sufferings of people at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I have trouble imagining that the American embassy would protest. Then the president of NHK, which is the Japanese public broadcaster, which people in Japan pay for every month, he decided to get up and say, the whole issue of the comfort women who were forced recruited, in most cases. Probably there were some, ladies of the night who were happy to be prostitutes. I mean, every war has its prostitutes and its camp followers, but many of them were forcibly recruited. And so he got up and said, this is not so unusual. It happens in every war, which again, I hadn't realized, but that's to me, it's extraordinary that the president of the Public Broadcasting Corporation, who probably is not very well informed on history, would get up and make these gratuitous comments about something that probably, has to be thoroughly researched by historians. What actually happened? Why would the public broadcaster make comments like that? And he was subsequently grilled by the Japanese Diet. And of course, we have to remember that Japan is a democracy, and right now they have a bit of a right-wing government, which is, has a bit of a revisionist approach to history, but that there are other forces in Japan who will, try to defend their positions. So, I mean, there can be a variety of positions. But anyway, this whole issue, which is very interesting to see from a Japanese perspective, from a Korean perspective. So that's one thing that I stumble across by reading the Chosun Ilbo. There was another one there about dementia on the Chosun Ilbo, and talking about how this sort of attitudes towards life, being purpose-minded, purposeful and active and so forth, staves off dementia, and we should look there rather than any miracle cures for solutions. So, politics, dementia. Then I've been listening as well to some sort of common dialogues, plus I have my KBS drama thing that I listen to. So actually I listen to quite a variety of things, and I think we go where our interest takes us, and we may concentrate on certain subjects for a while, and then we move on to other subjects. And the bulk of the vocabulary, is common, as they always say. A small percentage of the words account for 70-80% of the vocabulary. So you're constantly refreshing the basic words, connector words, why, therefore, because on the other hand, and so forth. And then as your interest takes you somewhere, you then get into the specific vocabulary. But that's not a problem. I mean, certainly not on Link. I just go start saving those words, and I may stay in economics for a while, or I may stay in politics, or I may stay in medical. There was another article on Chosun Ilbo about new ways of dealing with knee and hip replacements and using different approaches and stuff like that. So wherever you go, so I don't see that as a problem at all. I think if people are naturally curious, and that was one of the things they said about staving off dementia, is people who have a high degree of curiosity about things, that is very, very important. So be curious. And if you're curious, and if you're motivated to learn languages, and your curiosity takes you to different subjects, whether it be economics, politics, music, art, nature, whatever it might be, that's going to be good for your language, and it's going to be good when you approach my age for staving off dementia. Now I've forgotten what I was going to say. No, and the other thing that he mentioned was, this person who asked me a question on my YouTube channel here, he said, with English, don't you think that other languages won't be necessary? All I can say is, I made that little video of me going into the Chinese restaurant just to show you. I go there, I speak a few words of Cantonese. I go there regularly, we speak Cantonese. He speaks English, but if we can connect in Cantonese, it's different. At least for me, it gives me a tremendous sense of satisfaction. When I was in Russia, I was so well treated in St. Petersburg and Moscow. Plus, I was able to stave off, not dementia, but people wanting to gouge me for taxis and stuff like that because I speak Russian. Similar experience in Slovakia, Czech Republic, China, Japan, and I'm sure if I go to Korea and can speak Korean, I'll have the similar experience. So how can you, now, I'm not saying everyone should learn languages, but the rewards of doing so, personally, business-wise, culturally, connecting with people, are enormous. And I don't think the fact that English becomes increasingly the lingua franca of the world, because it's practical and useful, is going to take away the rewards of learning languages. So those are the two answers to that person's questions. And I'm kind of upbeat today. And I hope all of you out there are upbeat who are doing the challenge. I checked on the list. I'm one of the more active people. I would rather be well down the list. I want other people to be more active. I have the feeling that today, there are some days you feel you're basically standing still, treading water. And some days you have the feeling that you're better, that you're reading better, that you're understanding better. Today was one of those upbeat days where I feel I'm doing better. Not tomorrow, but Tuesday, I speak with Ju Hyun, with whom I spoke, say, a year ago, and I'm very curious to see if I'm better able to understand her and better able to express myself than a year ago, just based on these 2 weeks that I've been involved in the challenge. So, up and at 'em, everybody.